What's your guys' favorite kind of pizza? Do you guys like pineapple on pizza? I personally don't like it. And it seems like the Straw Hats don't really like it either. Or do they? We start off with a color spread where the Straw Hats are having a big pizza party. You know, the only two people that aren't there is Frankie and Robin. And Oda seems to do that sometimes. You know, sometimes we don't have certain characters show up to the color spread. But we get this cool little color spread. I love it. They're having a pizza party. I'm kind of hungry now. I want some pizza. But yeah. So anyways, this is chapter review, discussion, reaction, read through One Piece chapter 1091 titled Sentomaru. And we don't get a lot of these titled, chapters with character names on them. I mean, we got one last time. It's called Kizaru. And then before that, it was Miss Buckingham Stussy. And then before that, it was Raizo. Just Raizo, the goat ninja. But we don't really get a lot of these. Usually it's because something big's gonna happen, or that character's doing something big, or some character revelation or something like that, but it's not often we get a title with a character name on it. So the first page of the chapter, we start out with pacifistas unloading just laser beams on Marines, the big bombardment. What is that? Anyways, there's just a bunch of, it's like a buster car. A buster call. Wow, I suck at talking right now. But there's a bunch of marine ships, warships, etc., etc. And the pacifistas are just unloading on them. They're gonna start, beaming them. And so one of the marines, random guy, says, "Yo, we can't let them, attack the marine ships. Fire cannons back at them." So they start blasting back and they start going back and forth. So the battle has officially started between the pacifistas and the marines. So boom, cut away, double page spread. We see, it's bad enough they gotta deal with pacifistas. Bunch of laser beams coming at them. Now, a giant mechanical sea beast that has a head of a lion just comes up and just chomps down on one of the marine ships, which is pretty cool. And then we see like this giant mouse, and it has like a corkscrew. It has like a drill on his nose, and like those Mickey Mouse toys where you have the dials on the ears. That's kind of what it looks like, and it's pretty cool. I thought it was kind of cute, pretty cool. So then we see one of the vice admirals that we had previously seen that has like all the chins. He has like freaking 40 chins. And he says, "Knuckle steam!" And he punches one of the sea beasts, which is a hippo. And on it says Mark 71. So, just, cool little detail there. And it seems like he has an arm kind of like Zephyr from Film Z. That's kind of what it looks like to me. And I'm pretty sure it's coated in sea prism stone. I'm pretty sure, positive. And then we see Daw, the sexy gothic girl vice admiral. Daw, the sexy gothic girl. Daw, yeah. Well, we see her do this like leap kick, and she's like, "If you want to start a war with us, we'll start a war with you." So we hear a voice, and it says, "The vice admirals, they're starting to get on the island. They're starting to attack. They're starting to touch down." Cut away to the Labo stratum where Usopp and Kaku and Lucci and Sanji and Jinbei, Robin, etc., Vegapunk. That's where they all were, right? And we see Usopp, and he's basically like, "Holy crap, they're really going at it down there." And Vegapunk's like, "Already? Like, holy crap, like, our defenses down there are great. We have Sea Beast, we got Pacifistas, we got Sentomaru. Like, how the hell did they get that? Like, how did they start fighting already? Like, how are they starting to touch down on the island?" And then we see the same command control with the Seraphim with the Pacifistas. It's Authority Chip, Sentomaru, Vegapunk satellites, and then the Gorosei. The same thing as with the Seraphims. Which is interesting to think that the Pacifistas also have that same authority chip. I guess it makes sense because, the Gorosei would have been like, "Hey, we want to be the top dogs. We want to command them all," It would make sense. And so they see someone on the island. They see someone get on the island. They say, "So they sent that guy?" And Nami's basically like, "Isn't that Kizaru? Stussy was right. They sent an admiral." And this implies Stussy, informed them like, "Oh, we might have admirals come if, we don't get the job done. We might have this big fight, on our hands if we don't get this job done immediately, Or if we don't leave or something, along the lines of an admiral might come eventually. That's basically maybe what she implied. And then Brook just says, "Oh my god, all these dark memories are starting to come back. No, dude, It's gonna be Sabaody all over again. We're gonna get wiped out by Kizaru, the same dude. And Rayleigh's not even here to back us up. Or Kuma. And then Vegapunk basically says, like, he's hitting his head and he's like, damn it! Why did I tell Sentomaru to face him alone? Like, that's so cruel of me. Why the hell did I tell the guy that I love, the one that I raised, the one I care for as my child, to fight a Navy admiral that can shoot lasers out of his feet and his hands and his eyes, I assume. And he basically goes on and says, I'll understand if you choose to flee. Because it makes sense, you know, like, he wouldn't really put it against him if he's fighting a literally admiral. Immediately cut away, we see Kizaru. He just kicks the shit out of Sentomaru. Sentomaru blocks it, implying, you know, that he has the strongest defense in the last chapter. He blocks it. But Kizaru, being an admiral, still kind of sends him flying. Right after he says, you want to surrender, Sentomaru-kun? He says, Yasakami no Magatama! And that's one of the sacred treasures of Japan, if you're curious to know. They have 3 sacred treasures. A jewel, which is Yasakami no Magatama. And then they have Kusanagi no Tsurugi. I think that is it. I'm pretty sure. I don't have the names at the top of my head. And that's the sacred sword. And then you have the other move where he uses, like, he does this. And it's Yata no Kagami, which is, you know, the sacred mirror. And that's what he uses to beam around. So he just starts bombarding. Doosh, 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 doosh. He just starts shooting Sentomaru. And Sentomaru's like running away. He's like, ah, no. And he's like, sorry, Unc. I gave Luffy my word. I'm not gonna run away, and I'm gonna protect him. So you see him actually running towards his battle axe. You know that giant axe that he has, the big old axe? He's running towards that because I guess it flew away or he just left it there or something. I don't know. As he's grabbing it, Kizaru shows up behind him, stops doing the Yasakami no Magatama, and he says, look at you. Partnering with those criminals, those dirty pirates. Like, since when have you ever been chummy with pirates? And this goes to show that it's not because he wants to team up with Luffy, you know, Sentomaru. It's that he's doing anything to protect, you know, Vegapunk. And he's like, if Luffy's gonna protect him, I'm gonna side with Luffy. So it's just that he's going for the one who protects Vegapunk, you know. That's basically what's implied here. Because he says, I owe the old man my life. You know, that's basically what he implies, because he's like, I don't care who I gotta side with as long as they help him escape. As he does that, he just swings his battle axe. And Kizaru, being a Logia, kind of like Buggy when he's a Chop Chop Fruit, he just choop, and the top of his torso kind of just plops off, and he just swings and he hits nothing. And then we cut away to a flashback. I love flashbacks, and I love this one. This one's adorable. So we see Sentomaru on top of like 2-3 giant bears. He's just on top of them like, like he's just a badass little kid, you know? I think this is Kizaru saying, I thought we were supposed to take care of them. And then Sentomaru, I mean, I guess it's implied that these bears were outside of the village. Maybe they were causing trouble. So the villagers called the Marines and they're like, hey, we got like these giant bears. Come like beat them up. So then Sentomaru like says, all those guys are wimps back there. I don't even want to go back to that village. So it implies that this is his village that he's from. And Kizaru's like, huh? They kicked you out, huh? And Sentomaru is basically like, all I need is a job. But I'm not going to use it for food. Because I'm tough. It's not like I'm hungry or anything. So I'm not going to get any food. And then Vegapunk's like, oh, so like, what do you want the money for? And Sentomaru's like, onigiri! You know, he's just immediately like, I love food! And then Kizaru, you just see him go, and then Vegapunk and Kizaru just crack up laughing, and you just see a panel where he just says, ha 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 ha. And then we cut back, and we see Kizaru smiling, and he says, you were so cute back then, kind of like an uncle when he's proud of his kids, and he's like, oh, he's so cute. And Vegapunk's like, you know, we cut back to the flashback, and Vegapunk's like, how would you like to be my bodyguard then? Squirt. And the kid's like, really? You're gonna give me a job? Let's go! So I'm pretty sure this is on the same day. He's like, hey, Unc, how am I supposed to, like, protect Vegapunk if I don't know how to, like, really protect? He's like, come on, teach me the stuff. Teach me your wisdom, oh great master. And he's like, come on, uncle, like, teach me, uncle, teach me, uncle. And then Kizaru's like, hey, don't call me that. I'm not that old yet. And then we cut back to the present. And he says, I taught you all that I could. I taught you the best that I could, Sentomaru-kun. Sentomaru just kind of goes for him. Just uses Ashigata Palm. Boom, that's the sumo strike. Kind of like the Ryo that Luffy has. Though this is the same move that he kept using on Luffy on Sabaody, where he kept like slapping Luffy, and Luffy's like, "How is he hitting me? He's not even touching me," kind of like that. And so as he's hitting him, Kizaru tells Sentomaru, "Hey," this is when he gets serious in his eyes, like get serious, and he's like, "My defense, my guard is also nothing to sneeze at." And he uses that cool light kick, like the one that he used against Zephyr. I'll put up the clip, and that's when he kind of like uses his foot as like a beam and just boom, he just shoots at a giant beam down and boom, he just explodes Sentomaru. Sentomaru, you can see like he's in pain, maybe he's coughing up maybe blood. It doesn't really show the blood, but I'm pretty sure he's coughing up blood. And you can see the explosion all the way to the coast where like the Marines are at. So after this, Kizaru takes out his authority chip and he says, "All pacifistas, your previous order has now been canceled. Your new order will be destroy the Sea Kings and send them to the bottom of the ocean. Protect the Navy and the Marines." So like, now the pacifistas are on the Marine side. It's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. I think it would have been so hilarious if he would have brought out like a black Denden Mushi, or he would have brought out a Denden Mushi in general and just like talked into it like, "Hey, pacifistas, your order is now canceled." And then you hear the Gorosei be like, "Hey yo, Kizaru, this isn't the authority chip. You're talking to the Denden machine." Kizaru's like, "God damn it, I did it again." And then you see the pacifistas, we cut away, and they basically like, "New order confirmed. We'll destroy Sea Beast. We'll protect Marines, blah, 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 blah." So they just start bombarding the Sea Beast with lasers. And then we cut to where St. J. Garcia is still sitting, and he says, "What a waste, But if I had to choose, pacifistas are the way to go." And then he tells like his Marine guards, I guess, and he's like, "Hey, keep me updated on all the casualties." And all the Marines are like, "Yes, sir!" So now we cut away to where Usopp is in the Labostratum, and he says, "Sentomaru's finished," and he's like grabbing the transponders now, the visual transponders now. He's like, "Holy crap, he's been beat." And we see Sentomaru there laying on the ground. He's just burnt to a crisp from the light, just beaming him, the explosion. And I love this scene. Vegapunk is crying like I don't love it for because it's like funny, but I love it because it's so emotional for him. Like, it actually shows how nice Vegapunk is. And based off everything we've learned from like Dragon saying like, "Oh, Vegapunk would never build something that like destructful and anything so bad like that." I just love because this shows how much he actually cares for Sentomaru. And immediately he's like, "We can't dilly-dally. We gotta get this job done. We gotta start decoding this immediately." And Alice is there, Edison is there. They're both typing on the computer trying to figure out the password that York made up. And in this panel, we see Brook, Nami, and Usopp back there looking at the transponders now, the visual transponders now. And I just find it hilarious because it's like they're the news team, and Vegapunk's over here listening to all the reports that they're giving them. I just think that's pretty funny. And, we see York, and York's being, York, and she's like, "Ha ha, you'll never crack the code because I'm a Vegapunk too." And, Vegapunk and neither of the people that are in the Labostratum really care. They're just like, okay. And Vegapunk's basically like, "Focus, everybody. We're gonna crack this because then Kizaru can come in and wipe the shit out of us any second because he's also made of light and lasers are made of light, so we're kind of fucked. And we gotta focus. We gotta get this done now." And then we get a double page spread. Awesome double page spread. And Usopp's like, "Huh?" His eyes are popping out of his skull, and he's like looking at the screen. But he's like, "Huh? What do you mean he can just get in here whenever he wants?" And Vegapunk's just there like, "Yeah, indeed, he can." He's not even sweating, and Usopp's like, "This guy tried like destroying us. He almost wiped us out 2 years ago, right, in Sabaody. This guy's like terrifying for us." And as he says that, Kizaru looks up at the Labostratum and says, My, how nostalgic, the Straw Hats." And we just see a flash of light, just boom, just flies up into the Labostratum. So we just see a flash of light, just pew, he just like flashes up into the air. And he's probably using Yata no Kagami. So now we cut away to where Lilith, Frankie, Bonnie, and Luffy are going. And I'm not sure who says this, I'm pretty sure it's Lilith or Bonnie, but they're like, we gotta book it as soon as the barrier goes down. Like, we gotta leave pronto. And then we see the Mark 12, the giant robot, and he's carrying the Sunny like this. So he's kind of has like, he has the Sunny, and he's carrying it like this, and it's so adorable. And then they said, all we have to do is bring the ship to the end of the island, and we're good. And as they're doing that, they hear sirens just ding, 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 woo, woo, woo. They should just start going on, maybe like with the red lights, and it's flashing and everything, right? Luffy's eating a giant piece of meatloaf, or what's called mutton chop, those big ass like things with the meat. And he's eating one, Bonnie's eating one. Frankie's like, what the heck is that? You know, he's like, well, what is that? Like, Lilith, well, why are sirens going off? And Lilith is like the emergency siren. Like, why is that going off? Like, no one should be able to get through the labostratum or the labosphere or anything. You know, we have the defenses up, everything's up. Nobody should be able to get through that. And as she says that, we cut down and we see Kizaru and his like light, you know, where he's starting to phase back into his body. And he says, the power station, York, and Punk Records. Those are things that can't be collateral damage. I wish I can add old friends into that list. Unfortunately, our top priority is eliminating Vegapunk. And that implies that, like, he cares for Vegapunk, but he's still an admiral. He's still a Navy Marine. You know, he has to do his job. As he says that, the panel next to is Sentomaru on the ground, you know, burned to a crisp. Dr. Vegapunk's elimination is our top priority. And then you hear, Kizaru has infiltrated! God! And then they're all just screaming in the labosphere. And Usopp's like, hurry, Luffy! Like, come on! Hurry up! We want to get out of here! And Nami's like, basically like, Luffy and them aren't even near the end. Like, how are we supposed to get out? And then Brook's like, Luffy-san, this isn't looking good. And then Vegapunk says, it'd be pointless to bring the barrier down now that the ship's not even there. And now, like, my question is, how are they gonna get there? Are they just gonna run towards it? Like, maybe they said it in a previous chapter. I don't really know. If they did tell us how Nami and them are gonna get there, please let me know, because I really forgot. Anyways, as all this is going on, you hear Hatori. He just starts going, caw, caw, you know. Stussy immediately looks, and this bastard, pigeon bastard, Lucci, uses one of his Rokushiki, you know, one of the 6 powers, which is the finger pistol, and he just goes straight for Vegapunk, just beeline towards Vegapunk. Stussy sees that and just immediately goes in front of Lucci and blocks it. She takes the finger pistol dead on. Vegapunk turns around and just is surprised. As soon as that happens, I love this for Sanji. I love that he did this even as a repercussion. So basically, remember Nami had the bubble pistol in the last, like, the last few chapters. She had that bubble gun, bubble pistol, whatever the hell it's called. Sanji says, sorry Nami, I'm borrowing this. He grabs the pistol, and remember, Kaku's injured. Kaku's the one, kind of like Robin, he's one of the most injured ones. He grabs the pistol, and he shoots it at Kaku. So Kaku's now enveloped in the bubble, you know, the one that the Seraphins are kind of caught in. And he's like, what the? A bubble gun? And Sanji says, seems your friend has left you out of the loop. And Kaku's like, huh? So it implies that Kaku had no idea Lucci was still planning on killing Vegapunk. And that's interesting. That's actually interesting. Will this make Kaku be like, yo, I'm still going to side with Lucci? Last chapter when Lucci was talking to Kizaru, through, like, you know, he was over here, like, mumbling to himself, like, yay, man, we got this many people. You know, when he was mumbling to himself, Kaku was like, why are you talking to yourself? Who are you talking to? And Lucci's like, just talking to myself. As soon as Sanji envelops him, Zoro just, boom, goes straight after Lucci. Lucci blocks it. Or maybe after Stussy went down, he tried going for Vegapunk again, and Zoro comes in and blocks it. And I love this line. I love this line by Zoro. He's basically like, looks like you waited for backup to grow a spine. So he's like, you freaking coward. Now that you know an admiral's here, now is when you want to fight. I love this line by Zoro. That's so badass. And Lucci, being Lucci, oh my god, Lucci. Oh, this guy, I mean, I gotta give him props. He just doesn't give up, you know. He just does not give up. But I gotta give him props for that, you know. But he basically says, you're all as good as dead now that me and Kizaru are working together. And it's like, dude, no. No, you're with Sanji, and Zoro's there, and Nami's there, and Usopp's there, and bro, you really think you can take them all on? Just because they're not Luffy doesn't mean they can't beat the shit out of you, Lucci. Like, you gotta understand that, okay, Lucci? Just because Luffy isn't there does not mean you could just do whatever you want. You're just gonna wipe out the Straw Hats. That's not how this works, okay? You're gonna get your ass beat. Kaku's gonna be like, what the hell's going on? And you're gonna take another L. That's how I think it's gonna go down. Zoro's gonna beat the shit out of Lucci. And so, as he says this, Zoro just attacks him, and they go flying out of the little area that we're at. I forgot what it's called. Labostrom. There we go. They just crash through. Boom. Just breaks the wall down. Just goes out flying through it. So then we cut away to Kizaru. And he says, I was wondering where the Sunny was at. You know, the Straw Hat ship. I wonder where the Sunny was at. Because I didn't see it by the shore. So I was like, huh. And then we hear, hurry! And I think this is Frankie. And he says, they sent an Admiral, Luffy. What should we do? Hey, Luffy. Hey. And he's like looking back, and maybe he's like freaking out, like, where did he go? And cut to the final page of the chapter. We see Luffy there. He's standing there face to face. And Kizaru says, hey, long time no see. No dialogue from Luffy. Just goes straight in and kicks Kizaru. Doesn't go gear second, doesn't go gear third, doesn't go gear fourth, doesn't go gear fifth. And I love this because this is kind of like Goku-esque. Kind of like when Goku fights people and he uses his base form, then he goes Super Saiyan 1, then 2, then 3, then God, then whatever. I love this because it seems like he's understanding how Gear 5 works, and he just can't pull it out of his ass anytime he wants. I think he understands that now, and he just went head on. Maybe using armament. I'm pretty sure using armament because he kicked Kizaru. There's like hockey, like pouring out of the kick. So I just love this scene. This is such a sick, and like, bro, this is a Yonko. This is Luffy finally face to face with an admiral, and this is what they say. I see you're as cheeky as ever, Straw Hat. Luffy basically says, we're 100 times stronger than we were 2 years ago, Kizaru. End of chapter, Luffy smiling. So he's excited. Bro, oh my gosh. This is an admiral and a Yonko. This is Luffy fighting one of the 3 strongest characters, you know, in the Navy. Like, holy shit, dude. This is gonna be insane. In 2 weeks, we're gonna find out whether we see this fight or whether we do like a Labosphere type stuff, like, you know, the whole mystery. If we see them just wrap it up in like a chapter, and then we're gonna get a flashback later on as to what happened. Maybe they get away, and then Vegapunk's like, so how did you like get away from him, you know? And then we find out what Luffy did and what happened. Cause can they really fight right now? Do I really see Luffy and Kizaru fighting right now? I can't. I mean, maybe they'll take a few punches. Maybe they'll, you know, Luffy will send them flying, or maybe Kizaru sends Luffy flying, or something's gonna happen. I don't know. This is getting really interesting. There's a break next week, and look forward to follow-up videos because this was crazy. This was just insane. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys stick around for the long run because I plan on doing this every single week. You know, that there's a One Piece chapter. And, you know, we'll learn as we go. You know, this is my first review. You know, don't hate. It might be a little all over the place. It might be kind of unentertaining, but I hope you enjoy it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Have a great day. Yeah, I'd like to order a large pepperoni pizza. Yeah, large. Yeah, that's it. Alright. Alright, thank you. Damn, this background is plain.